Let me start with Dasha and Duke at Duke, where, frankly, to talk vaccines is the one piece of good news we can talk about when we say COVID. So it is part of me, Tasha, wants to start with at least the coming good news. But it's going to be a challenge when it comes to trying to scale up this vaccination plan.
Yeah, Chuck, everyone is looking for some hope right now. And at Duke University Hospital, this room represents some of that hope. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, there will be folks getting vaccinations right here. And it may not look like much right now, but there was a lot of thought put into even this part of the process. They had to find a space that was big enough to socially distance these vaccination stations. They've got 10 of them here. They'll be able to move people through this in groups. But with this vaccine, although it only takes about 2 minutes to get the shot, there will be a 15 to 30 minute monitoring period because it is likely that some people will experience some COVID-like symptoms. So they'll be monitored in this space here. Chuck, this was strategically placed right next door to the hospital because the people who are going to be sitting in these seats first, they are going to be those frontline workers, and they're going to be going straight back to work to take care of the COVID patients after this process is done. This is just one piece of the symphony that has to come together in perfect harmony, Chuck. Just think about the logistics of the timing. As soon as the vaccine comes out of those ultra cold freezers we've been talking about, the degradation process starts and the clock really starts ticking. The vaccine can only be refrigerated for a few days. And once one of those vials is open that has 5 doses, those doses need to go into arms immediately. So they're going to have to schedule this whole thing perfectly so as not to waste a single dose of that precious vaccine. One guy who is thinking about all of this right now is named Jason Zivica. He runs emergency management here. He has a lot on his mind right now. Take a listen.
Right now, there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know exactly when they're going to arrive. We don't know exactly how many we're going to get. Are we going to have all the supplies with them that we need, or do we have to dip into our stockpiles in order to make sure that we have the right equipment? And there's a lot of logistics that go into this that we need to make sure that we have down because we want to be able to provide this vaccine as quick as possible to those who want.
Chuck, the other big piece of this, of course, is staff. Right now, most of the staff is taking care of COVID patients with a record number of hospitalizations in North Carolina right now. But they're also going to have to ramp up some workers to give these vaccines. So there's a massive recruiting effort going on right now. They're even trying to get nurses to come out of retirement to take part in all of this. It is all hands on deck right now here, Chuck.
In fact, Dasha, that leads me to my next question, and I'm curious what you've learned at Duke about this, which is this current surge. You've just talked about the finite number of medical workers that they have. Obviously, the more patients they're having to deal with COVID, the fewer people they have to manage the vaccine inoculations and things like that. I assume one is very disruptive to the other. This only adds to the logistical nightmare, does it not?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Already, most hospitals, including here, they're short-staffed. They have staff members themselves getting sick and having to take themselves out of the equation. But that's also why I heard so much emotion and so much hope and excitement when I was talking to people about this, because having their staff members vaccinated, protecting them from this virus as they've been putting themselves on the line each and every single day, that is a really big deal here, Chuck. And in the long run, will allow them to be able to handle this virus and these COVID patients in the hospital with just a lot more support. Chuck.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.